Once upon a time, deep in the heart of the African savanna, there lived an old and wise lion named Kovu. Unlike the other lions, Kovu wasn't the biggest or the strongest. He wasn't the fastest or the most fearsome. But he was respected by all the creatures of the savanna, from the towering giraffes to the smallest field mice. Why? Because Kovu was known for something much more powerful than strength: his wisdom. Kovu had lived through countless seasons. He had seen the rains come, the dry winds blow, the grass grow tall, and the land turn to dust. He understood the rhythms of the world. He knew when the animals should move, when they should rest, and most importantly, when they should listen. His advice was sought after by all. But one fateful day, something happened that shook the entire animal kingdom to its core. Something so unexpected, it would change the savanna forever. One crisp morning, as the first rays of the sun kissed the land, a surprising announcement spread across the savanna. The mighty lion, the one who had ruled the kingdom for many years, had decided to step down. The animals gathered in the Great Plains, their voices echoing across the land, filled with confusion. They had never seen anything like this before. Kovu, the wise lion, was no longer going to be their king. Even the wise old elephant, who had seen centuries come and go, was baffled. Why would Kovu step down? The elephants wondered in hushed tones. But the lion was clear. With his powerful voice, Kovu declared to the animals, "I will no longer rule. The savanna will decide for itself who will be its king. But remember this, the wisest shall rule." The animals were stunned. A kingdom without a king? How would they survive? But Kovu's words echoed in the wind, carrying a powerful message. Who would be wise enough to lead them? Who would step up? For days, the animals debated. The elephants thought that strength and size made one wise enough to rule. The cheetahs, swift and fast, believed that speed and agility should determine the ruler. The eagles, with their sharp eyesight, insisted that only those with a clear vision could truly lead. The lions themselves were divided. Some argued that power should rule, while others said cunning was the key. The savanna was in chaos. Animals who once lived in harmony began to fight, each claiming their own qualities were what made them the wisest. The savanna was torn, and no one knew how to stop the madness. But then, something even more surprising happened. From the shadows of the underbrush, a small and often overlooked creature stepped forward. A young tortoise named Temba. Temba was slow. He was small. And as far as the other animals could see, he was nothing special. He didn't have the speed of the cheetahs, the strength of the elephants, or the sharp vision of the eagles. And yet he had something that no one else had: confidence. The moment Temba raised his head and declared that he would become king, the entire savanna erupted in laughter. "A tortoise? A ruler?" the elephants bellowed. "You can barely move faster than a crawling ant. How can you lead when you're so slow?" mocked the cheetahs. "By the time you make a decision, the sun will have set." Even the playful monkeys, who often swung from the trees with wild energy, chattered amongst themselves. "Imagine having to wait for the king to catch up with us." But Temba didn't argue. He didn't shout back. He didn't try to defend himself. Instead, he simply smiled, as he always did, and began his slow, steady walk towards Kovu's den, as if he had all the time in the world. The other animals, still laughing, watched in disbelief as Temba made his way across the savanna. His journey was long, slow, and steady, and the other animals, driven by curiosity, followed along behind him. They wanted to see what would happen. How could a tortoise, of all creatures, think he could rule the savanna? After what seemed like an eternity, Temba finally reached Kovu's den. The wise old lion was waiting, his golden eyes reflecting the afternoon sun. He had been watching the whole time, observing the animals' reactions, their judgments, their assumptions. When Temba stood before Kovu, the lion looked at him with a calm gaze and asked, "Temba, why do you believe you should be king?" The young tortoise, without hesitation, answered, "Because wisdom is not about being the strongest, the fastest, or the sharpest. Wisdom is about knowing when to act, when to wait, and when to lead." There was a long silence. The animals who had followed Temba to Kovu's den fell completely silent. For the first time, they were paying attention. They had been so busy looking for strength and speed that they had overlooked something much deeper. Kovu leaned forward and asked, "And how did you come to understand this, young one?" Temba's voice was soft, yet firm, and it carried a depth that surprised everyone. I have lived my whole life in the slow lane, watching, observing. I see the lion roar to announce his power, but it is the silent hunter who catches his prey. I see the river flow endlessly, but it is the still water that reflects the sky. I see the great tree standing tall, but it is the roots beneath the earth that keep it alive. True wisdom is not always visible. It lies in patience, in listening, and in understanding. In the savannah, the fastest creatures may get the most attention, but it is the slow and steady who see the bigger picture. They are the ones who understand when to act and when to wait. It is not about rushing or proving oneself. It's about knowing when to be quiet and observe, and when to step forward and lead. Kovu's eyes sparkled with pride, and he nodded slowly. You speak wisely, Temba. Wisdom is not about proving yourself. It is about understanding yourself and the world around you. I have watched you, young one, and you have shown the greatest wisdom of all. You shall rule. The animals, who had been so focused on proving their own strength and speed, suddenly felt a deep sense of humility. They had been so quick to judge Temba for his slowness, they had missed the very essence of what true wisdom was. Kovu stood tall, his mighty voice ringing out across the savannah. The wise don't need to prove their worth. They show it through their actions, their understanding, and their patience. Temba, the tortoise, will lead us now. Here's the moral and life lesson from the story. People often believe that strength, speed, or intelligence is what makes one wise. But true wisdom is often misunderstood. Real wisdom is about patience, observation, and knowing when to act, and when to remain still. In life, those who rush may stumble, and those who fight for attention may miss the most important lessons. Sometimes, the quietest voice carries the greatest wisdom. As you go through life, remember Temba's lesson. It is not the loudest or fastest who lead us, but those who understand the moments in between, those who see the whole picture. When life gets overwhelming and you feel like you need to prove yourself, remember that sometimes the best way to lead is to step back, observe, and let your actions speak louder than words. If you found this story insightful, like and share this video so more people can learn from it. Subscribe for more powerful lessons from the animal kingdom, where we uncover wisdom that's been passed down for generations. See you next time with another inspiring story.